Hey guys, how's it going? On this week's YouTube video, I'll be breaking down an integrated variation of the side plank. So a lot of people like to work on their abs or try to improve their core strength, but they misunderstand the purpose behind their intention. So when most people train their abs or their midsection, they are trying to improve their ability to stiffen or to brace. They are not worrying about plugging this skill back into the much bigger organism. So they're just doing like side bending or anti-rotation or just general stiffening. They're not actually taking a deeper look into how the obliques function and what their role actually is. The obliques are set up to do a bunch of things, but the things that I want to focus on for the purpose of this video is exhalation and rib internal rotation. So when you exhale, your internal obliques are actually downwardly rotating the lower ribs. So this allows the ribs to begin to face the pelvis, creating from a shortened position. So this is what's going to allow the obliques to handle force transfer, right? So you're going to need that if you're going to do any kind of deadlift, squatting, lunging mechanism. Okay, you need the obliques to be in a good position, meaning the pelvis and the ribs have to face each other in order to accomplish force transfer. Like those are the things that are protecting your spine when you're lifting heavy weights. All right, so on this side plank variation, I'm going to show you how to integrate all of the positions that I've talked about before in terms of hip shifting and protraction in order for you to get the most benefit from a side plank variation. So on the setup, your hips are going to be 90 degrees, your elbow is going to be directly beneath your shoulder. And what you're going to do is through protraction, you're going to try to get your armpit as far away from the ground as possible. So you're going to start reaching. You're not going to just hike up your hips. You're going to allow this reach to get your ribcage away from the ground. You're going to feel serratus and internal obliques. As you continue that drive, you're going to start to rotate your torso towards the ground, and eventually you can clear the floor. Take your left hand, retract to elevate the shoulder blade, face towards the ceiling, and from this position, you might even get some right adductor. You're going to exhale, hold the position, breathe in, X. Don't let the belly expand, in. So as you can see, although it's not a lot of movement because it is essentially an isometric exercise, the side plank that I showcased today highlights a few different things. You are getting genuine protraction on the support arm. You are getting retraction of the opposite scapula. You are getting internal hip rotation of the hip that's closest to the floor. Like you're not really trying to make that happen, that just happens on its own. Some things that I did that I didn't point out in the video is that I tried to maintain a posterior tilt in my pelvis, and I tried to make sure that I wasn't extending my low back. I wanted a fairly flat lumbar area so that I could focus exclusively on protraction and serratus and internal obliques to get me off the ground. If you start to hike up the hips by hiking up the hips, you're going to start getting into a little bit of lumbar extension, okay? And then you're going to take away from the process of the actual movement. A lot of these drills aren't about actually accomplishing the drills. They're about giving you sufficient feedback from the drills on what muscles or what body parts need to be moving or repositioned, right? So I focused a lot on the setup. It wasn't about just like lifting yourself off the ground. It was about slowly and gradually feeling the connection of protraction and letting that hike you up off the ground in a smooth, controlled fashion. One thing that you guys didn't see, and it's a nice way to spot check yourself, is you can go around the back and you can have somebody scrape along the medial border of your scapula, the right scapula in this case. And if that scapula is winging just a little bit, you can afford to protract more. If you guys could notice, as I started exhaling in the drill, I actually lifted a little bit more because now my obliques were supporting the mechanism of protraction. You can exhale and you can get obliques without reaching, but you cannot reach successfully without co-contraction of the obliques. You need obliques in order to reach. So that's why my lift, my plank got a little bit higher throughout the exhale. And once again, you exhale fully, you can feel your obliques start to compress the lower portion of your torso, and you hold on to that tension through the inhale. So you're not letting the belly expand. When you allow the belly to expand, you are utilizing spinal extension in order to get more oxygen into your lungs. Okay, this is not how you were designed to breathe. This is not the most efficient way to experience oxygen exchange. When do you use this drill? So you can use this drill as a part of your warm-up. You can use this as one of your resets. If you're having trouble getting your pec minor to shut off during your standard 90-90 or your all-fours belly lift, this could be a nice variation to try to get you to feel more serratus and more internal obliques. It's not dependent on the exercise or the drill. Like, it's not about figuring out, well, what's the algorithm to figure out which drill you need. You really need to take a more macro view of the entire system, and that's going to lead you to deduce which drill is best for you. Odds are you're going to want to do this more on the right at first, and then work on bringing your left up to par. The left side should always be a little bit more difficult. If you find that your left side is easier than your right, spend more time working on your right. Don't let the left side overtake your right side. It's part of the natural imbalances in your body. Because we have a diaphragm that attaches lower on the right side of the lumbar spine, those fibers are thicker and stronger. We are more inherently biased to loading a right side, and the liver underneath the right diaphragm also allows it to maintain its dome shape, which means that we're pretty good at exhaling on that right side of our torso. Again, force transfer is going to be better. We're more integrated on the right side, or we like to bias that position a lot more. Doesn't mean you're good at it. It just means we like to go there first. Okay? So if you guys have any questions about this week's drill, feel free to drop a comment down below. Check out my Instagram page, Mejor Strength, not Major Strength, Mejor, Mejor. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.